It's just an amazing opportunity to bring all these schools together and to meet other people and meet what they do, and because everybody has so many different skill sets, it's just amazing to be here with all these people and learning from each other.
Artonomy to me is the idea of bringing students together to voice their thoughts, their ideas, and kind of collaborating and fusing together all of our different ideas through art and through technology.
We are using the robots and programming them to make an art that demonstrates and portrays the history of First Nations and their wampum belts.
Each student got to work in groups to create a representation of a wampum belt. A wampum belt is a representation of an agreement between the original caregivers of the land and the colonizers about how they could move forward together in a good way.
We started looking at wampum belts and building them out of Lego, and then saying, what do these symbols mean? How did they relate to the students themselves?
This was the initial idea and the initial exploration, which then led the students to come up with symbols and ideas of what their own wampum belts would look like. You have 4 different elementary schools working together for a common goal with many different ideas that actually link in really well together.
Our interpretation of that idea of deep learning was connected to the idea that all subject areas are interconnected and that the deepest learning happens where we find overlap between the subject area. So the idea was to show really the interconnectivity between all of the different subject areas that students study at the secondary level, and doing that through the connection of film clips, animations into one big collaborative video.
The skills that we developed through being involved in this kind of project is definitely collaboration. That's a big one. The use of materials and finalizing something with, materials that we have to acquire ourselves, communication skills, learning to kind of balance ideas and take into consideration others' opinions, and just discretion in that sense.
We've worked together both as a group of all 6 schools to collaborate, to storyboard, to brainstorm, using Google Classroom often to connect even when we can't be in the same physical space. So all of that planning has been a collaborative effort between the schools. As teachers, we've really just tried to facilitate without getting in the way too much, essentially.
Well, Artonomy has taught me about many things like programming and teamwork.
It's a great opportunity to really learn about others and the methods they use, but also to really learn about yourself. Because I find here, doing this project, I've learned a lot more about myself as a leader. It's very important to have good active listening, to listen to people, to show your listening by maintaining eye contact, keeping an open mind, and just giving them critical feedback so that they can learn from themselves and from you, and you can both learn from each other.
One of the skills that I've learned would be persevering, because we ran into a lot of challenges throughout the way, and we had to try something new and try again. And it was about using everyone's ideas, because yours might not have worked, and so we had to try something else. And by putting everyone's ideas together, we were able to come to a better solution.
Something I would say to someone who wants to be involved in Artonomy is that it's a really great place to bring students together to voice their own opinions and bring to the table their own creative strengths and how we can come up with a finalized product that is student-driven.